Make sure to check in with your creative team today as Google just released Nano Banana Pro. It's built directly into Google Ads and promises the seamless creation of high quality ad creatives. Initial results are impressive, but is it really the marketing game changer some are claiming it to be? Then, Google's new agentic AI Ads Advisor acts on its own to build creatives, optimize campaigns, and troubleshoot performance on your behalf. But how good is it? Should you trust it? And is it a clear signal that our days as human marketers are numbered? And for some good news amongst the AI chaos, Google just rolled out a brand new metric you'll need to know about. The new original conversion value column was spotted earlier this month, giving us a more accurate read on actual business revenue generated, plus a whole host of other benefits we'll be talking about later in the show. Welcome to November's edition of Lunio's Paid Media News Show. I'm Ben from the content team here at Lunio.
And I'm James, content lead at Lunio. Each month, we're here to recap the top 5 headlines from the world of paid media, so you can stay up to speed with the latest developments. Plus, we'll bring you helpful tips and commentary from leading marketers so you can get the insights on how industry leaders are reacting to the latest news. And with that said, let's jump straight in to the first story.
Google has just gone ahead and hired a new marketing intern for you. But unlike previous marketing interns, expect this one to frequently hallucinate false information and constantly talk about the ever-evolving digital landscape. That's because this intern comes in the form of Google's new fully agentic AI Ads Advisor. But on the bright side, at least you don't have to worry about getting it as your Secret Santa. The Ads Advisor was first announced back in May, but is now in limited beta with a global rollout anticipated for December. According to Google Ads VP Dan Taylor, Ads Advisor and its sibling Analytics Advisor are in-product AI agents powered by Gemini, designed to identify opportunities, spark creative ideas, automate troubleshooting, and, this is the important part, directly implement recommendations, with your permission of course. And that brings us to the person who spent the most hands-on time with it so far, Google Ads coach Jyll Saskin Gales. She threw this AI intern straight in at the deep end, asking it to optimize her Performance Max and shopping campaigns, and even help her set up a brand new search campaign. Her whole post on this is just kind of scarily fascinating. I've linked to the whole thing below, but in short, there's both good and bad news here. So let's start with the good news. Surprisingly, Jyll says the Ads Advisor is not just a Google shill. She asked it whether to include the display network and search partners in a new search campaign, and the advisor actually researched the open web before responding. It then told her to uncheck the display network for lead gen search campaigns and uncheck search partners for now. So it's not just reading from Google's list of recommendations. Jyll also found that it didn't limit itself to Google Ad settings. So yes, this intern is eager, helpful, and most surprisingly of all, willing to disagree with Google. But in typical AI form, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Jyll found that the Ads Advisor repeatedly surfaces incorrect or out-of-date information. Then there's the agentic claim. According to Google, this thing can take actions for you. But similarly to Michelle's experience, the Ads Advisor told Jyll it couldn't make direct changes. It does beg the question, what is Google's end goal here? Is this a soft launch for fully automated marketing, or just another way for Google to convince us to spend more money on their platform? Well, as one of the most recognized Google Ads coaches in the industry, and as an ex-Googler herself, few know Google's motives as well as Jyll Saskin Gales. Here's what she had to say when we asked her about her thoughts on Google's motives behind their new Ads Advisor.
I think Google's goals with the Ads Advisor are the same as Google's usual goals: make more profit. And I'm using the word profit intentionally here because the two sides to profit are earn more revenue and decrease costs. So on the earn more revenue side, you could imagine how Ads Advisor would be able to help advertisers spend more money by introducing them to different features or campaign types, or just help them get up and running, which they may not have been able to do on their own. So that's the make more money promise. And then on the decrease costs promise, Ideally, Ads Advisor will be able to help with things like disapprovals, for example, which can eat up a lot of support time, or answering some of the very basic questions that don't need someone from Google support, whether that's, a very junior entry level someone on phone support or someone very senior in large customer sales. If it can help take those questions, that's going to save employee time. I think one of the big drawbacks to Ads Advisor right now, but that should get fixed over time, is it's just wildly inaccurate. I've tested it now in quite a few accounts. I've probably spent like a solid 1 hour in total across a couple of days playing with the thing, and it gives more wrong answers than right answers. So obviously that will improve with time, but right now, a huge issue. The other thing that I think is a huge blind spot, probably for the people developing Ads Advisor, are that most Google Ads users don't know what they don't know. For example, I had this new Google Ads coaching client recently. They are a small business owner, no Google Ads experience. And when they joined the call and shared the screen with me, I saw that they had just been talking to the Ads Advisor. And so I said, like, what did you think of it? Was it helpful? And this business owner said to me, well, I don't know. It just kept talking about something called Performance Max, but it wouldn't explain what that was. So I don't know. It wasn't able to help me. And I just thought that was so illustrative of the biggest issue we take for granted as people who work in this industry and who listen to this show, watch this show, that like we know what all the latest features are and all the latest news and all the latest tricks, but most people don't even know that. So this new business owner just trying to get some basic help, not even understanding what the heck Performance Max was, that is going to be the biggest challenge for Ads Advisor to overcome, to not just be able to find the right information, but to present it in a way that is most useful to the person it's speaking to. And that's another thing that really has a long way to go. So I am absolutely optimistic about the future of Ads Advisor, but as it stands today, sorry, I would not recommend most people use it. If you don't have it in your accounts yet, I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I show it in action, so you can see exactly what I mean about how it's often more wrong than right.
So one to keep an eye on for the future, but as of right now, Google's new intern might need to gain a bit more experience before it can be let loose with your campaigns. I want to extend a big thanks to Jyll for sharing her thoughts, and subscribe to her weekly Inside Google Ads podcast to stay fully up to speed with all things Google Ads.
In case that wasn't enough Google AI news for you, Google also dropped their brand new creative powerhouse directly into Google Ads. And yes, it has the most unserious name imaginable, Nano Banana Pro. Ridiculous name, but serious tech. This is Google's new state-of-the-art image generation model, and Google is hyping this thing up to be a total game changer for the marketing industry. Ginny Marvin, Google's ads liaison, says advertisers get, quote, better brand alignment, more creative control, and higher quality output, thanks to improved reasoning, better text rendering, and high-res image generation with full 4K export available. You can even create scenes featuring up to 5 products at once, which if you run retail or e-com campaigns could be very useful. And unlike older AI tools that force you to rewrite prompts from scratch, Nano Banana is conversational. As Google put it, you can ask it to change the background to a snowy street and it will iterate instantly. Seasonal variants, new concepts, product swaps, no restart required. Early access testers like Google Ads expert Thomas Etchell also noted upgrades like better on-brand text overlays, support for up to 6 input images, up from 3 in the past, and all major aspect ratios supported. And it's completely free inside Google Ads. So the features sound incredible, but what's it actually like in the real world? Chris Nightingale walked us through his hands-on tests during our recent AI Survival Guide webinar. One of Chris's clients sells EV charger parking stops. Chris tried adding cars into different bay setups, and initially the AI did add the cars, although they were parked very illegally. But many variations actually worked surprisingly well, and the refined prompt tool made small tweaks without starting over. And when it came to removing things from photos, Nano Banana Pro excelled. The issues come when you're working with anything branded. Chris noticed that it tried to recreate brand elements, but couldn't nail the fonts or other details entirely accurately. Overall, Chris's findings largely aligned with feedback from most other early testers. Latency is still a pain, so if you're impatient, be warned that it still takes a while to generate images. Batch editing multiple images at once is extremely useful. Brand alignment is fine, but not flawless, and it should absolutely not replace humans. Oversight and creative direction is still very important here. But for small teams and stretched creative departments, Chris thinks Nano Banana Pro could, quote, open up opportunities to try on new things at scale. end quote.
Right, finally, some non-AI news from Google. And this is a rare moment in Google Ads history because this is one change from Google that, on the face of it, everyone actually likes. It's called Original Conversion Value. And if you work in e-commerce, lead gen, SaaS, or run anything with lifecycle goals or value rules, this could be the update you've been asking for. Because for years, advertisers have had one big frustration. Google won't stop messing with your conversion value. Every time you use value rules, new customer acquisition bonuses, or lifecycle goal multipliers, Google adjusts your numbers, which can be great for bidding, but awful for reporting. Thomas Etchell put it best, quote, "Some of us have been struggling for years to separate real conversion value from value rule or lifecycle goal adjusted numbers. Google has finally given us a clean, unadjusted version," end quote. The formula is simple. Conversion value minus value rule adjustments and lifecycle goal adjustments equals original conversion value. And as Thomas says, it feels like a step back to the roots. The actual money you made before Google started inflating things. Yash Mandelsha summed up the usefulness perfectly. Original conversion value shows you the raw unadjusted revenue, which finally lets you see the actual business revenue you generated, compare campaigns without inflated values, avoid manipulated metrics, and understand true ROAS versus Google adjusted ROAS. Yash describes it as the new balance we all needed. Bid with Google's adjusted values, but report with original conversion value. So, you finally know what your campaigns actually earned, as opposed to what Google thinks they should be worth. Meaning original conversion value could quietly become one of the most important reporting columns in your account.
Then a relatively quick but important update for anyone running shopping campaigns. Google has quietly rolled out something that's going to make a lot of PPC managers breathe a sigh of relief. Brand inclusions for standard shopping campaigns. Ryan Parks, Senior Search Director at Spark Foundry, was one of the first to flag this. He says this update finally brings the same brand inclusion controls we've had in PMax and AI-Max over to standard shopping. As Ryan put it, hallelujah, no more search query scripts to exclude non-brand searches from shopping brand campaigns. End quote. Here's how it works. At the ad group level, you can now add a brand list to target only your own branded queries. Nice and simple with zero hacky workarounds. Charlotte Louise Sharp, paid media lead at Connective 3, said that, quote, "Until now, branded shopping activity has been difficult to isolate. Even with careful structure and negatives, non-branded queries often slip through, muddying performance data and efficiency," end quote. But before we move on, it's important to mention that Ryan Parks recently edited his post saying that the feature is not currently working. And subsequently, Search Engine Land quoted a Google spokesperson as saying, quote, "This isn't actually a feature rollout we made. Brand inclusions aren't currently supported in standard shopping or PMax campaigns. Brand exclusions are available in PMax," end quote. But with several reports from marketers saying this feature is currently active in their account, it's difficult to know what to believe here. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on your account over the next few weeks to keep track of what could be a very big win for marketers running standard shopping campaigns.
Then finally, November has seen quite a few smaller but still very important updates that you'll need to know about. So here's a lightning round of the smaller key updates from November in under 3 minutes. First up, just in time for Black Friday, ChatGPT has launched a new shopping research mode acting like a personal shopper that asks clarifying questions, compares options, and delivers a refined shortlist. Instead of users hopping between search results and comparison sites, ChatGPT now guides them through the entire messy middle research phase in one place, likely creating more pre-qualified, AI-influenced intent. For e-commerce brands, this is a solid preview of where product discovery is heading. Until ChatGPT introduces ads, the biggest lever is product data quality, detailed specs, clean categorization, high-quality images, and strong reviews. The better your feed, the more often AI models will surface your products. Then, if you're running store goals inside Performance Max, your campaigns can now appear directly on Waze as promoted places in navigation. So if someone's driving past your location, your store pops right up on their route. Perfect for service-based businesses or anyone who relies on foot traffic. There's no extra setup required, and it's already live for US advertisers with a global rollout planned for 2026. Then, briefly diving back into the world of AI, Microsoft Advertising has introduced image animation, a new Copilot-powered feature that automatically converts static images into short, dynamic video assets. Instead of needing full video production, advertisers can now transform their existing image creatives into motion-based formats. The feature is currently in global pilot and is designed to extend the lifespan of high-performing images, while unlocking access to Microsoft's wider premium video inventory. Google has started testing a new performance by stage breakdown in the Google Ads overview dashboard. This lets you segment results across the funnel, which will show you how effectively you're capturing users at different intent levels. Early sightings suggest this is part of a wider Google Ads UI refresh that's gradually rolling out across accounts. And finally, the Microsoft Advertising mobile app is being retired in January 2026.
I am shocked! Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Something I'm sure will come as a huge disappointment to the 3 marketers actually using it.
And that's it for this month's episode of the Paid Media News Show. Links to all the posts mentioned in the episode can be found in the description down below, so feel free to check those out and follow the helpful PPC experts who contributed to the discussion. If you're after in-depth strategies and tips that can be applied to boost your PPC campaigns today, be sure to check out our Paid Media Lab podcast. Season 3 has just wrapped up, and we closed out the series by talking to Miles McNair about the skills marketers need to be developing today to future-proof themselves in the AI era. Catch the whole of Season 3 on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And special thanks to those of you watching this at the time of release and are currently in the trenches with Black Friday and holiday season bearing down on you. And speaking of the holiday season, with many of us winding down towards the end of December, there won't be a new show next month, but we'll be back in the new year to cover all the recent paid media news you might have missed. So, thanks for tuning in, have a very happy holiday season, and we'll see you in the new year.